Hello, I'm Rosie Moss. I'm Assistant Principal at Baxter College in Kidderminster.
Hi, my name's Kim Morris. I'm Assistant Head of Sixth Form here at Wolverley Church of England Secondary School.
Hello, I'm Stuart Shields. I'm an Assistant Head Teacher from the Bewdley School and Sixth Form Centre.
We've got quite a high number of domestic violence incidents that do come through school. A lot of the students in one way or another are involved in domestic violence through Facebook, social media in general. That there are a lot more incidents that are happening as well, and the perceptions of students, both the girls and the boys, in all fairness, are slightly distorted at the moment, I think. And I think things need to be made just a little bit clearer for them, and I think they need to be made just a little bit more responsible for you know, producing and helping to reduce domestic violence.
Domestic abuse really impacts on a young person's time in school. If you've suffered over the weekend, drunk parents having to have the police called, the first thing it affects is your attendance. You don't want to come to school because you're concerned of what's going to happen at home while you're not there, or you might want to stay at home and protect the rest of your family. If you are in school, your mind keeps wandering off to what's happened, and it's very difficult to focus on your lessons. You might get into trouble because you're off task or you're misbehaving in lessons. So you could get told off, and you could end up, say, for getting a detention, which will keep you back in school, which will make you more anxious and concerned about what's going on at home. So the impact that something like domestic abuse can have is really tangible for our students, particularly where for a lot of our students, school is the one safe place, stable place in their lives, and we want them to feel that that is the case. So obviously we need them in school, and they need to know that we're there supporting them and helping them rather than punishing them because they can't focus because of what's gone on out of their control at home. So I don't think anybody in schools can underestimate the impact that domestic abuse has on the learning of young people.
I'm attending the charm training today because I think it's vital that certain male stereotypes and role models are challenged. My role at school involves me dealing with a lot of safeguarding and behaviour issues, and what's become increasingly apparent in schools is how domestic violence impacts upon behaviour in schools, and the number of our learners who have experienced this is quite astonishing in some ways. There are figures up to say about 33% of girls who've actually experienced some sort of sexual violence by the time they're at the age of 17 from a partner in a so-called loving relationship.
I'm here today along with two colleagues from Baxter College to attend the charm training, and we found that it was something that we really felt was important to introduce in our school. We do have quite a lot of incidents of reported domestic violence. They come to me in school. And we also were noticing that the boys in particular are very challenging sometimes in their attitudes towards women, towards each other. And we felt that if there was some way where we could develop a more respectful relationship for them, then this would be it.
The charm training and the call to men means that we can actually begin to challenge certain male stereotypes, because a lot of the boys get these views from society, and I think it's vital that we actually take them back and get them to begin to examine what society is actually telling them and how those views and those opinions need to be viewed and certainly challenged. Ultimately, what we want is for a sort of more, I think, caring and loving relationship to be developed between boys and girls, and understanding in that sense, and that respect is given at every single level. And I think in schools there's often examples where that is not the case, and that's my aim and one of my big purposes of it here, to take the skills I've got from this training and actually help boys certainly understand their role in society.
We are looking at having maybe small groups of students, possibly 8 to 10 students, probably over a 10-week period. We're going to start at year 9 we don't really feel that it would be appropriate for us to go any younger than that. And the idea is that we've had the talk today with the Year 10 boys, and we're hoping to secure some leadership from the Year 10 boys and involve them in the training of the younger students in the school. Once we've completed the first programme, I think the intention is that we would just do a rolling programme throughout the year.
Back in school, what we intend to do, what I'll do is I'll team teach this with another member of staff who's come on the training as well. We envisage doing this with a Year 10 group of boys, about 15 to 20, and also with a Year 12 group of boys as well. And again, similar sort of numbers, probably slightly smaller number in reality. But as I say, we'll do that, and we'll do that in a team teaching environment. And the programme, we think, will take about 8 weeks. And the learners are taken through a whole stage of the process to challenge their understandings, and also challenge how society has given a view of masculinity of men. And over those weeks, what we'll try and do is to build on this learning. At the end of it, hopefully these learners, the 20 in the Year 10, will be spokesmen for this programme across the school.
As part of the White Ribbon campaign, we had some drama workshops come into school, and again we targeted our boys, a particular year group were targeted, and they really presented challenging workshops to the students. The students were aware of the White Ribbon campaign before they came in, and it had been advertised and spoken about, and all of the staff had signed up to it and were wearing white ribbons. But as a consequence of that drama, it really brought home to our students exactly what it was all about, and that it was something that they could make a difference to, and something that they could have a voice about. We ran out of white ribbons. We had to get more because our students were so keen to become more involved with working against domestic abuse. In the workshops, the students were able to go and talk to and listen to survivors and people that had experienced domestic abuse, and that really made it real for them. And to be able to ask questions and to have that first-hand response was so important. And I think this is one of the reasons why it was so successful, because it came from the mouths of survivors, and that made it such a positive experience. It wasn't as though there were teachers preaching at them. This was a real experience that they could really learn from.
The students here are very well aware that the structure of the school provides them with a really strong pastoral team. I am part of that pastoral team. They are really aware of who they should go to, and a lot of the students do. I would say that there are probably many occasions where the students don't actually realise and understand that they are in a domestic violence situation anyway. So we don't always get to deal with these things through the student coming to us directly. It could be that one of their friends has come to us, or we've sort of heard, gathered information from elsewhere. But the students are certainly aware of who they need to come to, and they do.
With young people in our school who are experiencing domestic abuse, we always make sure that they know who they can go to, who they can talk to. So there are posters up around the school. The relevant members of staff are regularly in assemblies and form tutor times so that they know where they are, how to find somebody. In our school particularly, they know they can just go to the reception office and ask for a particular member of staff, and that they will be seen to. Sometimes they will need a quiet space just to be. They don't want to be in a lesson and around their peers asking them what the matter is. So we arrange for them to have some time in our curriculum support centre. Other times they might want to get on with some schoolwork, and other times they just might want a cup of tea, a biscuit and a bit of me time. And again, making sure that we've got dedicated teaching assistants, dedicated members of staff who they can talk to is really important. We sometimes use outside mentors as well, who might come in and see them just once a week, just to touch base, to be a safe adult that they can talk to, that's completely removed from either school or the home situation. But what we will always do is treat each child as an individual and make sure that we can accommodate their needs to the very best that we can.